From impossible missions to otherworldly journeys to fighting to save the Earth itself while racing around it, today's sound artist has touched more films than you can probably imagine, including some of the biggest films of all time. Yes, we are in Season 3 of Oscar Rewind, and today I am looking at New Line Cinema and Marvel Enterprises' Blade. Released in the summer of 1998, the film was written by David S. Goyer, based on the character created by Marv Wolfman and Gene Colan, and directed by Stephen Norrington. What's up, everybody? Cinephile Mike here, and it's a new episode of Oscar Rewind, where I look back at the films of this past year's Oscar nominees and winners. Make sure you click subscribe so you don't miss any of these throwbacks. We are about to wrap up Chapter 5, The Sound of Oscar. This chapter has focused on the composers, songwriters, and sound teams that orally entertained us this past award season. And today we look at Juan Peralta, who after a 30-plus and still going career, finally received his first Oscar nod and win as part of the team of F1. But before mixing all those amazing sounds, he was working on this little groundbreaking vampire pick. Now, if you've never seen Blade, here's your quick spoiler-free setup. Blade, played by Wesley Snipes, is a unique hybrid. Half man, half vampire, he is an anomaly, the Daywalker, that roams the streets protecting the humans from the dangerous vampires living below, just waiting for their chance to reclaim the world. Sitting in one of those topmost seats under the vampire elders is Deacon Frost, played by Stephen Dorff. He believes that vampires should be the reigning species, and this has put the two of them at odds. When Frost's crew begins making their presence more known, a nurse named Karen, played by N'Bush Wright, gets caught in the crossfire. After being bitten by one of Frost's underlings, she scrambles to survive and make sense of her new reality. So now it is up to Blade and his trusty mentor Whistler, played by Kris Kristofferson, to step in and make things right. Meanwhile, Frost is doing all he can to capture power and help bring an old prophecy to life in the form of La Magra, the ancient blood god, which will remove all the elder vampires in his path and make him the ultimate Daywalker, even more powerful than Blade. With his trusty companion Quinn, played by Donald Logue, at his side, he will make trouble for Blade as he seeks out all he needs for his plan. And as the film progresses, Blade will find himself in one constant danger after another, trying to save those closest to him, and also learning about some connections to his past that will have life-altering circumstances before the last drop of blood is spilt. Look, this film was really awesome for the fact that we got a dark R-rated comic book movie that was action-packed and yet fun. Does it break the mold for comic book action films? No, that will come years later. But what worked for this is that in this role, which seemed tailor-made for Wesley Snipes, I mean, when this was done, he was the only actor it was offered to. He's an absolute delight. Even in the other two sequels that came after this, they weren't great, but Snipes was always constant. He imbues Blade with the snark, and his ability to flash a smile in one moment and then bare his teeth in the next is utterly terrifying. As Whistler, Kris Kristofferson's a delightful, gruff presence in Blade's life, and he delivers sarcasm with the best of them. You gotta love the quip between these two. And Stephen Dorff is a delightful, scenery-chewing villain. The way he hisses through his dialogue, it's the perfect juxtaposition to Snipes, and I wish, in this film, there's almost, I wanted more between the two of them instead of some of the side plots that we get, that you understand why they're there, but you don't really need them. And that said, and one of them involves the character Karen, the nurse Karen, and I appreciated that Wright's Karen was, yes, at times a damsel in distress, but she wasn't just that or a love interest. She was an intelligent doctor, a blood specialist with a role to play in Blade's biology. But again, did we need all of that? Probably not. I mean, I think we can all agree that we don't necessarily come to the comic books for the, deep philosophical and scientific conversations. We come for the action, and it's here. There are several sequences that are just so cool to watch, including an early scene in a nightclub, the climactic battle between Frost and Blade that is eventually coming, some impressive chase scenes, all masterfully captured by Theo Van de Sande, the cinematographer. And it's in these sequences, especially, that the work of the sound team, including Juan Peralta, the reason we're here, makes things really come to life. It's fascinating to hear each slash of the sword or even each bite when the fangs pierce the skin or the great explosions every time a vampire dies. These are the traditional vampires, not diamond-like vampires or, traditional. Now, let's talk about the box office and the awards. As of this posting, the film currently sits with $70,087,718 domestically, $61,124,179 internationally, giving it a worldwide take of $131,211,897. Critically, the film is split, with a 59% on the tomato meter from 113 reviews and a 78% on the popcorn meter from over 250,000 audience reviews. Again, some fun moments, some weird plot strings, but take it as you will. With over a dozen nods and wins, some highlights include Best Horror Film and Best Makeup nominations from the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Awards. Dorff won Best Villain at the MTV Movie Awards, with Snipes nominated for Best Fight. Both of these actors won Blockbuster Entertainment Awards. Remember the Blockbuster Entertainment Awards? Snipes got Best Actor in a Horror, Dorff got Villain, and Christopherson was nominated for Supporting Actor in a Horror. Also worth noting, especially since it's why we're here, the Motion Picture Sound Editors Guild nominated the film for Best Sound Editing for Sound Effects and Foley. As I said, the sound here, very sharp. Look, Blade, for me, while fun, I would find it challenging to really go any higher than 3 stars. It's not bad, it's not great, it's middle of the road. It left me wanting more. It left me wanting less. Yeah, as you've heard. But look, it's there. It served its purpose. And look, this was a nice barometer for giving us some of the latter films we would get, like a Deadpool and a Kick-Ass. So, if you would like to watch or rewatch Blade, unfortunately, it's not streaming anywhere as of this time, but it is available for digital rental or purchase or physical release purchase. So, check this one out. And that's where we're going to leave it. That's the end of episode 43 of season 3 of Oscar Rewind. If you enjoyed this episode and want to check out the others, make sure you subscribe to the channel, check out the playlists, and let me know in the comments, which R-rated comic book film stands out to you the most? Please follow me on all social media platforms and check out my website, cinephilemike.com, for more exclusive cinematic content. I'll see you all for the next Rewind, but until then, this is Cinephile Mike saying take a break and watch something new.